Today we are going to be going through these two huge bins of Lego that I bought secondhand. I bought this entire lot for $200 and I have really high hopes for it. So as you can see here, before I started recording, I picked through some of what I could identify. So you see me identifying the parts of the gunship, some minifigures that I was able to pick out initially, the ATTE, a spider droid, an X-Wing, a Minifigure starfighter, some other random sets like the Rebel Battle Pack, Imperial Dropship Battle Pack. As you can see here, I actually thought that this MTT was the newest version, but I was pleasantly surprised to find out that it was the one from 2008, the big one, the best one. So that was really awesome. Here in A-Wing and V-Wing, as well as part of General Grievous' Starfighter. Some like figurine stuff, I'm not really sure. And now it's time to get into the nitty-gritty. So in the second box, it was mostly Mega Block stuff, but you can see here that there is like this container of just Bionicle parts. So I'm really looking forward to looking through that. That other little Bionicle container is very important, you'll see later. So yeah, just tons of interesting things, you know, just little cool things to pick out. It was really interesting going through the Mega Block stuff because there was actually a couple sets in there that I had when I was younger. So like parts that I would use and play with. It was really nostalgic for me. Now we got the big pour. You can see how much dirt and nastiness is in this bin. I'm pretty sure it had been stored outside, like in a shed or something, because these bricks were just nasty. But it was a huge amount of Legos and it took a lot of time to go through. We got parts that I can start identifying, especially parts from the gunship. That was the key. When I first saw the listing for this, I was able to identify some parts and I knew that I had to get it. So this entire process really takes a lot of time. It's all worth it. See a Han Solo figure. Commander Cody was a great find. Only Commander Cody we've gotten to date. Magna Guard minifigure. As I'm sorting through this all, I'm just hoping that the sets that I can identify and that I'm able to pick parts for, that the sets are complete, because it's always the worst feeling when you think you have something and you go to try to put it together and the parts just aren't there. I've had to experience that a couple times, especially in another lot that I was actually going to make a video on. I thought I had gotten a complete gunship, but after going through it all, it was only like halfway complete. So now we start the process of cleaning all the bricks. So I pick out all the bricks that are like decaled or have stickers on them or like that shouldn't get wet. And then the rest of them, I try to break them up as much as I can to prevent water staying in the bricks. So now just giving it a little pat dry. Afterwards, I came up with the idea just to blast it with a hairdryer. It really speeds up the process, because before I would just let them air dry, but the hairdryer helps a lot. So while the bricks were drying, I figured I would go through all the loose bricks that were in the Mega Bloks bin, because there actually were some Lego left inside that box. So I tried to get as much out of it as I could. Mostly what I do with the Mega Bloks is I just kind of throw them in a bag. Either I bring them back to donate them or just throw them away. I don't really like to use Mega Bloks that much. We like to keep it purely Lego. That's all the Lego that I was able to pull out from that little pile. So I was talking about this little Pantera container earlier. So I'd originally written it off as just like a container with Bionicle parts, whatever. But upon second look, I realized that it was full of minifigures. Before I realized this, so after looking through all of the bricks, I was really disappointed because I thought the seller didn't include the minifigures that they had shown in the listing. But I was lucky enough to look inside this container and realize that it was just full of minifigures. We got a nice Commander Wolf there. Nice Obi-Wan. Princess Leia, a Hoth Princess Leia. A-Wing pilot. Commander Rex. This is my second Commander Rex, so it's pretty exciting. A pilot. You got the Rebels from the Rebel Battle Pack. Asajj Ventress. Super rare R2-D2. I don't know what those guys are called. We got the Baby Hutt from the Clone Wars movie. Nice regular trooper, another stormtrooper, more stormtroopers, more clones, 2 sand people, another rebel trooper. So since these are used, I do like to go through and clean them, because you just never know, and like touching them, I need to make sure that they're clean. I just take some disinfecting wipes and wipe them all down, get them as clean as possible to make sure that there's no bacteria, especially since all this Lego is stored outside for God knows how long. It's better to know that they're completely clean. Especially if I do want to go and sell them later on. You can't be selling them when they're all nasty. Setting all the figures up to get a good visualization of all that I got. All the clones. Stormtroopers. Rebel troopers. A couple super battle droids, which is really cool. Got that General Grievous. All the Jedi and good guys. Also yellow skin Anakin Skywalker. I actually looked that figure up, and it turns out that figure is from the Bounty Hunter chase from episode 2. But unfortunately, I didn't find any of the actual parts for that. So either way, it's cool to have the figure. So now we start the sorting process. I like to sort them all by color. I have a technique where I fill up my little bin with as much as I can, and I go through that little pile color by color and slowly sort the entire bin. It's a really long process, but I just like to throw something on that I can watch, and I grind through it. So I literally spent the entire day just sitting there sorting through all of these Legos. Of course, had to take a little ramen break to try out my lightsaber chopsticks, which don't work very well, apparently. I actually struggled a lot. Back to sorting. Here I'm showing you my exact technique. Get them all laid out on the table and get to work. As you can see here, I'm sort of sliding bricks off to the side, perfecting my technique to where I would choose one color, slide it off to the side, and then throw the rest into the bins. So this is what it looks like, mostly sorted. I sort them out by smalls and big pieces, just to make it easier for me to piece the sets together. This is about halfway through the process. I'm just kind of showing you guys how I sort them out. I sort out the big pieces and small pieces, just to make it easier for me to eventually go back and look through the different types of pieces to try to put together the sets that I have identified. Just to kind of show you guys what that looks like, here's a small little time lapse of me sorting out the big pieces and the small pieces. Usually, like anything bigger than 4 studs, I throw in the bigs, and anything smaller than four studs, I throw in the smalls. And we're done with the blues. So in this lot, there is tons of discolored bricks and like yellow white bricks. So I had to pick those out to eventually go back and try to restore them to white. But there was some insane discoloration. So this is the final result. We have everything sorted out by color and by size. Now perfectly ready for me to go back, look through it all, and try to piece out sets for me to eventually do time lapses on, reviews on, that kind of stuff. The entire process is really difficult and time consuming, but it's so worth it. I got tons of old retired sets that are not easily accessible unless you want to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I love doing this. And also it's really satisfying to finally have all the sets that I wanted as a kid and not have to pay thousands of dollars for it.